Elka Stage 5 shocks are going on. Looks pretty cool, right? Well, to see us actually make these and install them at the factory, you're going to have to watch this next part of the video. It's a nice fall day. Things are getting colder. Snow's going to be here soon, but before we can do anything, we need shocks on that Polaris IQR 800 mod sled. We're at Elka Suspension. Come on in. We're going to do a custom order. Come on in. This is Mark Kingsley. Louis Cubo, PowerModz.
Yes, how are you?
Good. I've met you before. I met you at the
Valcourt. Yes.
The Grand Prix in there, and we talked about his amazing shocks, and we had to come in here and get them for our Polaris IQR 800 mod sled.
Perfect. Getting ready for the snow season, eh?
You betcha.
All right.
Now's the time to do it.
Perfect.
So, you know, I thought we'd come in and go over the ordering process because this is a custom application that we're doing right now. You know, some guys could order up a set of shocks for something that might be a regular type of sled, but since ours is a little different with shorter stance, I guess we need to make some custom measurements, right?
Yes. Well, basically, in a special case like your project, yes, we'll need to go over the full process of ordering. Is basically we'll need to take all the weight, what discipline you do, the sled model, and have all of this filled. And after that, with all the dimension, we'll need to go and basically take the dimension, create the bill of material with all the motion ratio. We'll create all that bill of material, and then we'll go and build the unit in the factory and install the shock directly on your sled. So the way it works, pretty simple. You come in, you phone in. We first create an account if you don't have an account, but with Louis, I've got already you in our system, so it's pretty easy.
Okay, so I've got my Polaris. It's an IQR, which is a former snowcross sled.
Okay.
Right, but we're putting a long track on it. We're going to beef up the motor a little bit, but the whole thing is going to be kind of lighter than normal.
Okay.
We're just shedding weight on it, so I figure it's probably going to come in around 440 pounds, 430 pounds.
Okay.
Dry.
And I assume you're looking for the higher shock, stage 5 shock for what? Perfect.
Yeah.
So
I need something that's adjustable just for the kind of riding we do. I don't do a lot of trail riding. I'm kind of off trail and.
Okay. No, basically, you need to have the stage 5 shock. So with the high speed, low speed compression adjustment, preload adjustment on the spring, and the rebound adjustment. With the kind of modification you're doing, it's a good investment also for your sled. So by having all that information, it's pretty easy. I go in my system, and after all the bill of material has been created for your specific application, we go down and basically ask you a couple of questions. Pretty easy. What kind of riding you do? Is it off trail? Is it powder? Is it backcountry?
It's all backcountry powder. I mean, there's some kind of trail riding generally to get into where we're going to go play, but. You know, I don't really care that much about that. I just want to be able to have a shock that's going to be built for, you know, having fun in the powder, right?
Perfect. So it's easy. You know, every time we develop a shock here, we'll have a couple of disciplines like standard trail riding, backcountry, powder riding, and the setup in our shock will be set up differently. Small difference that will make a huge difference on the sled.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy. We get all the information. You get, what's your weight, Louis?
I'm 180.
180. Why I ask you the weight is basically for spring purposes and also valving purposes. Yes, no, a person that weighs 220 pounds will have different spring for the same sled or ATV or side by side than somebody that weights about 175. So
yeah, I've noticed. I've bought sleds that have been owned by bigger guys before, 250, 60 pounds, and the shocks don't work.
That's it. And it's not only the spring that we change depending on the weight. It's the valving as well and the combination of spring. So that's very important, and depending on the discipline you're going. So basically, you got backcountry kind of riding, deep powder snow. That's what you're doing.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So it's easy.
Okay.
So right now we've got about 9,000 recipe of either ATV, side-by-side, snowmobiles, or different recipe. When I say different recipes, for one recipe for one vehicle for, let's say, MX, or let's say in sled for trail riding, that's one recipe for a person of, let's say, 180 pound rider. So that's one recipe. So it's a lot of recipe, 9,000 and growing every day. So we got a big database that we put all the information in, and that's in our system, when you come in or somebody calls in, says, okay, I've got this sled, I've got this model, I weigh this amount, I ride, that's a question I didn't ask you, do you ride alone? Do you ride with a second passenger?
No, I'm always alone.
Always alone, so it's very important for us. So like that, all in the system, we get all that information, and with a couple of questions that I just asked, we're able to go in our system, put the order in, and this will create the bill of material. Bill of material is basically the specific recipe for your sled.
Yes.
So that's
it's like
pretty
a
easy.
shopping list. I go in, I buy all my groceries. It's going to come out the way I want it.
That's it. That's it. It's a lot of work to put all the information in, but as soon as it's in,
Yeah.
it's there forever until we find out, let's say, a better setup.
Right.
You call in and say, Mark, the shock going good, but in that particular section or in deep powder, I would like to have more rebound. Perfect. We do the change.
Yeah.
You go and you test it, and you say that's perfect. We'll change our system as well.
Okay.
So our shock are evolving day and night. As soon as we receive some feedback from a customer, we'll change them. We know shocks, but the guy sitting on the sled knows it better.
Now, what is there any kind of maintenance I'm going to have to do with these shocks?
Especially for sleds, very important to at each time that you at the end of the day, clean the shock. Sometimes people will get the sled in the garage, and sometimes the garage is heated, it's not heated. What you want to avoid is having ice over the shock. Even if our shocks are equipped with seal heads that will eliminate any ice on the shaft, you want to avoid this.
Right.
So any kind of water accumulation in the shock is something that you want to avoid. So when you go back, and you have your sled back in the garage, make sure to dry them, if I could say. But for the rest, it's a standard maintenance would be for a standard snowmobiler would be once a year. Once a year, you can send your shock back into the shop. So we'll change the oil, and we'll change anything you like to change as well. But usually it's standard maintenance. No, it's like changing oil in a car.
Yeah.
If you don't do it at some point,
Well, it's a machine, like you say. It's constantly in motion.
that's it.
Now, what about okay? So if I place my order, how long is it gonna? What's your kind of turnaround time?
We've worked pretty hard on our turnaround time. Usually we had a politic of 3 weeks, but our politics in 2013 is maximum 7 to 10 open days. So our objective is to have a turnaround time to 7 open days plus shipping, depending where you're at. So we try to go as fast as we can. Basically, it's a matter of taking the time to assemble the shock. Going all over the quality control. That makes we need a certain time. It's not something. There's no shock that is on the shelf here. It's very important that people understand that. So, but I think 7 to 10 open days is pretty good turnaround time in the industry.
Well, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So I guess all we need to do is go take some measurements, and I think they're wheeling the sled in the back.
That's it.
And,
so we just need to hub the sleds in,
Yeah.
get in the garage. I'll have Nicholas, which is our snowmobile engineer or technician, will take all the dimension. We'll remove the stock shock. We'll basically take all the dimension that is needed, and after that we'll go and do his magic, come up with the recipe.
That'll be nice.
And after that we build the shock. We'll go it through all the way together, and you'll know exactly how it's done.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, let's go get her done.
Perfect.
Put your hands together!
This is where it all happens. They get the sled in, whether it be a custom job like this or a factory model, and they basically measure it up, do all their R&D here, and make the shock for you. Okay, well this one I tightened. You have a set of wrenches?
Yeah.
How cool is this? We get to work at Elka. Hey Keely, I'm putting back the tools where they're supposed to go. I give him the harder one to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna lift up the snowmobile at this right position, and we're gonna take the full extent of the shot, of the front shot.
Right.
And after that, we're gonna drop down the snowmobile and taking the full
compression. Right on.
And we're gonna take also all the dimension from the arms and the frame. And after that, as we talk about, we're gonna go at the computer and try to find the motion ratio of the snowmobile, and so we're gonna have an average idea of what spring setup we're gonna use and what is the valving we're gonna use for.
Awesome. Only need one strap for that. So darn light. He grabbed the snowmobile on the way in. He said, "Oh my, that's light."
Lift that one, you're gonna see what is heavy.
Not like that right there. That's a little heavier. Yeah. So what he's done is he's taken the suspension, he's gone through the full travel, full compression, full extension, measured it. He's made sure that the boot, you know, on full compression isn't going to be damaged by any part on here, this that comes out the steering rod. And basically he's going to set the shock up for that. So now we go back into the computer, does all the measurements, checks it out, and then we start building.
Because of the boots that interfere with the arms,
Yep.
The travel is a little bit more shorter.
Yep.
We have 6 inches of travel of the ski travel, so that's not a lot. But I noticed that the A-arm is skinnier than it
Oh
should be.
yeah, they're a lot shorter, yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
That's why the travel is a lot shorter too. So,
Yeah.
so the motion ratio is a 1.36. It's really soft. It's really a soft motion ratio. So it means we're gonna need a soft spring rate and a really soft valving setup.
Okay.
For that type of riding, especially the snowmobile is made for some kind of backcountry trail riding.
Yep.
So you need a good transfer from left to right. So we need something soft.
Okay.
Plus he's old and fragile, so.
He's hard on me. Keely says I'm old and fragile. Nice.
So
See what I
right
put up
now,
with?
I'm gonna put all those dimensions in my specification sheet
Okay.
to know which piece we're gonna use. I'll build the shock with no horn in it, so we're gonna fit on the snowmobile,
Okay.
the shock, and look at the full compress and the full extent. If everything goes right and nothing is
Binding or coming in contact.
nothing.
Okay.
The knob's not touching something or
Okay.
something like that.
So let's get a box. I'll carry the box. You put the parts in it. At Elka Suspension, you literally get the shaft. Right on. You do not want me to cut this. I would not do a good job of cutting
You
this.
can do if you want.
No.
You can push the button. That's the only thing I can.
Oh, is the button? I'll push the button.
Yeah.
Because if I need to measure, it's not going to be so good. One's going to be out a little bit. Okay, Keely needs to buy us one of these machines because this cutting with a cutoff tool just isn't cutting it anymore. We need one of this. One of these.
The door.
Definitely.
For the protection.
Yes, yes.
Everyone. Make sure it's cool out.
That's how it's done. That's how we roll at PowerModz. Look at that. Now it's just cutting the threads on the shaft. We shortened it to the required length. We do need one of these. I don't know why, but it's pretty cool.
So I'm gonna cut those.
Now it's time to cut the body.
I will cut on that one.
Okay. All their custom work is done right here in the house.
Make sure everything is clean.
Make it impossible.